If you're over 60, there's something in your fridge right now. Something you've been told your entire life is healthy that could quietly increase your risk of a stroke while you sleep. No chest pain. No warning. One moment you're fine. And the next, you're slurring your speech. Unable to lift your arm. Or struggling to find your balance. As a brain doctor, I've seen this happen to far too many older adults. And not because they smoke. Not because they eat junk food, but because they ate a vegetable. Yes, a vegetable that triggered a dangerous chain reaction inside their aging body. We've all heard, eat more greens, and vegetables are medicine. But here's what no one tells you. In older adults, certain vegetables, when eaten at the wrong time or combined with common medications, can increase your risk of brain bleeds, clot formation, and sudden blood pressure spikes. Today, I'll walk you through 9 common vegetables that may quietly harm your brain, and how to eat smarter without giving up what you love. And trust me, the last vegetable on this list is one most seniors eat every single week, and it could be the most dangerous of all. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. Spinach. The two-faced friend of your brain. For decades, we've been told that spinach is one of the healthiest foods we can eat, full of iron, magnesium, and fiber. It's the star of salads, green smoothies, and side dishes in senior meal plans across the country. But here's the shocking truth. For older adults, especially those over 65, spinach, if eaten the wrong way or at the wrong time, may quietly become a hidden threat to your brain. As we age, our blood vessels naturally lose flexibility. Arteries that were once soft and responsive become more rigid. Add to that the common presence of medications like calcium supplements, vitamin D, and blood pressure drugs. And suddenly the balance inside your bloodstream becomes far more fragile. Now, enter spinach packed with oxalates, a naturally occurring compound that binds with calcium in the body. In younger, healthier bodies, oxalates often flush out with little issue. But in older adults, especially those with reduced kidney function or who take high doses of calcium or vitamin D, oxalates can begin to accumulate, leading to calcium oxalate crystals in the bloodstream. This doesn't just impact your kidneys. It can begin to harden arteries, particularly the small sensitive vessels that feed your brain. These narrowed vessels increase the risk of microclots, tiny blockages that over time can cut off oxygen to brain cells. And when that clot grows or shifts just slightly, it can form a full-blown ischemic stroke. The kind where you wake up one morning and can't lift your arm or say your spouse's name. One of my patients, a 76-year-old retired firefighter from Milwaukee, had always been disciplined with his health. Every evening, like clockwork, he fixed himself a spinach salad with a sprinkle of feta and a slice of whole grain toast. He took vitamin D and calcium supplements too, to keep his bones strong. For years, he believed he was doing everything right. But one winter morning, he was found slumped over his kitchen table. His coffee spilled. His words jumbled. He had suffered a silent stroke overnight. His scans showed vascular calcification, stiff, narrowed arteries in the brain, and blood work revealed elevated calcium and oxalate levels. a red flag combination. The likely trigger was nighttime consumption of spinach, combined with supplement use over many months. His body had quietly been forming the perfect conditions for blood clots until one finally formed in just the wrong place, cutting off blood flow to part of his brain. He survived, but he no longer drives and he walks with assistance. Through tears, he told me, "Doc, I was just trying to do the healthy thing. I didn't know my salad could hurt me." Even good habits can turn dangerous if we don't adapt them to our age and health conditions. If you're taking calcium, vitamin D, or have any kidney or heart condition, limit spinach intake to the morning hours, and only after speaking with your doctor. Don't combine it with supplements unless medically guided. And please never assume that more greens always mean better health, especially after 65. If this surprised you, wait until you hear about the next vegetable. One that's often praised for heart health, but in seniors can cause your brain to bleed instead of clot. Let's talk about broccoli. 2. Broccoli. Good for the heart, but not for everyone. Most of us grew up being told to eat your broccoli. It was the classic symbol of health. Rich in fiber, antioxidants, and vitamins. And for good reason. Broccoli is packed with nutrients that support heart health, reduce inflammation, and help fight disease. But for many older adults, especially those on heart medications, broccoli could quietly become a dangerous risk factor for a brain bleed. Broccoli contains high amounts of vitamin K, a fat-soluble vitamin essential for blood clotting. In younger individuals, this vitamin helps heal wounds and prevent excessive bleeding. But in seniors, especially those taking blood thinners like warfarin, Plavix, or aspirin, vitamin K can create a delicate, even dangerous imbalance when consumed in high or inconsistent amounts. Vitamin K can interfere with these medications, making your blood either too thick or too thin, without you ever feeling a thing until it's too late. One of my patients, an 82-year-old retired elementary school teacher from Pennsylvania, was always health conscious. She took her medication faithfully and every evening steamed a bowl of broccoli with olive oil and lemon. "It keeps my heart young," she would say with pride. What she didn't realize is that her daily dose of broccoli, seemingly innocent, was slowly interfering with her blood-thinning medication. Her blood became unstable. Her INR, a key measure of blood clotting, fluctuated dangerously without warning. One afternoon, after a mild headache and sudden confusion, she collapsed in her living room. At the ER, scans revealed she had suffered a hemorrhagic stroke, bleeding inside the brain, not due to trauma or high blood pressure, but because her blood had become too thin to clot properly. The combination of vitamin K and anticoagulants had created a silent storm. She survived, but now walks with a walker and her speech is slower. She tells her story to other seniors in her community, now with a simple message. Don't assume healthy food is harmless. Not at our age. If you are on blood thinners, it's not that you can't eat broccoli, but you must eat it in consistent amounts and you must communicate with your doctor. Sudden increases or decreases in vitamin K make your medication ineffective, either leading to dangerous blood clots or brain bleeds that could take away your independence in an instant. Remember, our blood vessels thin and weaken with age. A small bleed in a younger brain might be manageable, but in someone over 70, it can mean a permanent loss of memory, speech, or the ability to live alone. If you're listening to this and thinking, I eat broccoli all the time, and I'm on blood thinners. Please don't panic, but do take action. Call your doctor. Get your INR checked regularly. Track what you eat, and never assume a heart-healthy food works the same way in everybody, especially one over 60. Now, if this makes you nervous, it should, but the goal isn't fear, it's awareness. Because next, we're going to talk about a vegetable that seems harmless, even refreshing, yet it can quietly dehydrate your brain overnight and throw off your blood pressure while you sleep. Yes, I'm talking about romaine lettuce, and what I'm about to share may surprise you even more. 3. Romaine lettuce. Low calorie, but dangerous at night. If you are over 65, there is a good chance someone encouraged you to make dinner a salad. Light on calories, easy on digestion, friendly to the heart. Romaine lettuce looks like the perfect anchor for that plan. Yet, in older adults, the timing of romaine may quietly raise stroke risk by changing hydration and blood pressure while you sleep. Romaine is rich in water and fiber, and it has a mild natural diuretic effect. In a younger body, that simply means an extra trip to the bathroom. In an older body, where thirst signals are weaker, kidneys filter more slowly. And many people already take diuretics or blood pressure pills at night. That extra fluid loss can thicken the blood by morning. Thicker blood moves sluggishly through aging vessels. Sluggish flow encourages tiny clots. Those clots do not need to be large to cause damage. A small plug drifting into a narrowed artery can interrupt oxygen to a language center or balance pathway, and you wake up unable to find words or walk straight. I cared for a 75-year-old man who ate a big romaine salad for dinner every night. His labs showed mild dehydration and increased blood viscosity on admission after a nocturnal stroke. No chest pain, no big warning, only early morning confusion and arm weakness. The pattern was classic. Evening diuretics, low sodium diet, minimal fluids, a late salad that squeezed a little more water out of his blood while he slept. To keep romaine on your plate safely, move your largest salad to midday. Drink a glass of water with electrolytes at dinner if your doctor approves. Avoid pairing romaine with alcohol or caffeine in the evening. Both pull fluid out of the bloodstream and magnify the overnight effect. If you take diuretics or blood pressure medicines at bedtime, ask your clinician whether morning dosing is possible for you. And watch for subtle signs that your brain is asking for help. In 1, dry mouth at night, leg cramps, morning headaches, standing dizziness. All are early flags that your circulation is running too dry. None of this makes romaine a villain. It makes timing a prescription. In older adults, what you eat matters. And when you eat, it matters just as much. If this surprised you, the next vegetable will feel even more counterintuitive because it hides inside a snack most seniors consider harmless, and it can swing blood sugar at the worst possible time. That swing can pull your vessels tight, raise pressure, and set the stage for a clot while you sleep. Let us talk about raw carrots and why the same crunch that feels so innocent in the evening can be risky after 65 if you eat them alone without protein or fat. 4. Raw carrots. A hidden spite for your brain. Raw carrots look like a perfect bedtime snack. Crunchy, naturally sweet, portable. They are celebrated for beta-carotene and eye support. Yet, in older adults, raw carrots eaten alone at night can quietly disturb glucose and stress hormones in a way that affects the brain by morning. Carrots are not candy, but they still deliver fast-acting carbohydrates when eaten without protein or fat. In many seniors, insulin response is slower or overshoots. You eat a handful at 9 o'clock. Blood sugar rises. Insulin climbs. Around 2 or 3 in the morning, the pendulum swings down. The body senses the drop and releases adrenaline and cortisol to push sugar back up. Those stress hormones squeeze blood vessels and raise blood pressure. Squeezed vessels and morning pressure surges are a recipe for microclots in already stiffened arteries. That is how a snack can become a neurologic event without any chest symptom to warn you. A 78-year-old retired nurse taught me this lesson. She proudly replaced cookies with raw carrots at night. Weeks later, she woke, confused and unsteady. Imaging showed a tiny ischemic stroke. Her glucose logs revealed nighttime dips and rebounds. Once she moved carrots to lunch and paired vegetables with hummus or eggs during the day, her numbers stabilized and the spells stopped. You can still enjoy carrots. Just change the context. Cook them lightly to slow absorption. Pair them with hummus, yogurt, nuts, or olive oil to blunt the glucose rise. Keep them out of the bedtime window. If you take insulin or sulfonylureas, talk with your clinician about overnight monitoring. A continuous glucose sensor can reveal hidden dips you cannot feel. Remember that brain tissue thrives on stability. Smooth glucose lines mean smooth vessel tone. Smooth tone means less turbulence where clots love to form. If carrots at night can nudge sugar in the wrong direction, imagine what happens when a natural medicine that thins blood meets a prescription that does the same job. The effects are not additive. They are exponential. The next vegetable has earned a halo for heart health but can turn a fragile brain vessel into a bleeding risk when combined with common drugs. Let us look at garlic and why supplement strength can be too much for an aging circulatory system. 5. Garlic. A natural blood thinner with hidden dangers. Garlic lowers pressure, eases inflammation, improves lipids. In cooking, it is generally safe. In capsule form, it becomes potent. That potency is exactly why older adults must treat garlic like medicine, especially when taking aspirin, clopidogrel, warfarin, or newer anticoagulants. Garlic reduces platelet stickiness and interferes with clot formation. That is protective up to a point. In an 80-year-old with delicate brain vessels and a prescription blood thinner, a daily garlic extract can push coagulation past safe, turning a minor vessel leak into a dangerous hemorrhage. I will never forget an 81-year-old gentleman who added a high-dose garlic supplement to his regimen without telling his cardiologist. He developed headaches and light sensitivity, then slurred his speech. Imaging revealed an intracranial bleed. His INR and platelet function were out of balance. The culprit was not trauma. It was synergy between a concentrated botanical and a prescription. If you love garlic, cook with it. But avoid concentrated capsules unless your clinician explicitly approves them after reviewing your medications. Kidney function and bleeding history. Watch for subtle red flags. Easy browsing. Nosebleeds. Bleeding gums. Unusual fatigue. Sudden severe headache. Any neurological change. Report them immediately. Balance is the principle that saves brains. Enough clotting to stop leaks. Enough fluidity to prevent clots. Herbs that push systems in one direction can be helpful at 40 and hazardous at 80 when reserves are thin. If garlic can thin your blood too far, could a common pantry vegetable push pressure too low, trigger reflex constriction, and set the stage for clotting anyway? Yes. The next kitchen staple can do exactly that, particularly when eaten raw in large amounts and combined with blood pressure medicines. Let us talk about onions, why morning dizziness matters, and how to enjoy flavor without risking overnight instability. 6. Onions. A drop in pressure. A rise in danger. Onions are rich in quercetin and sulfur compounds that relax vessels and support heart health. In moderation, they are welcome in nearly every kitchen. Problems arise when an older adult layers large servings of raw onion onto an already potent medication plan. Quercetin acts as a vasodilator. Beta blockers, calcium channel blockers, and nitrates also lower pressure. Together, they can drive resting pressure down overnight when the nervous system is quiet. A pressure that falls too far cuts oxygen delivery to the brain. The body attempts to compensate by constricting vessels on awakening. That constriction is uneven and stiffened arteries, producing turbulent flow and an ideal environment for clot formation. One retired coach ate a generous raw onion salad nightly to amplify his prescription benefits. He began waking lightheaded. One morning he could not find words. Imaging showed a small ischemic stroke. His pressure logs revealed nocturnal lows and rebound surges after rising. The fix was not complicated. He moved raw onions to lunch. He cooked onions for dinner, which blunted the vasodilating punch. His cardiologist adjusted timing of his pills. His mornings cleared. Keep your flavor, but protect your brain. Prefer cooked onions in the evening. Pair aromatic vegetables with protein rather than eating big raw portions alone. Rise slowly from bed. Hydrate before sleep if your doctor allows. Ask whether some blood pressure medications can be taken earlier in the day. If onions can nudge pressure and tone, a starchy favorite can push glucose and viscosity together, especially when eaten late or at both breakfast and dinner. The next vegetable is beloved in every season and often mistaken for harmless. In older adults, it behaves like quick fuel that the brain pays for at night. Let us look at corn and why timing and pairing matter more than nostalgia. 7. Corn. Sweet and golden, but quietly dangerous. Corn comforts. It also behaves more like a starch than a leafy vegetable. Grits. Corn on the cob. Cornflakes. And cornbread deliver fast carbohydrates that push glucose up quickly. In insulin-resistant seniors, that peak is followed by a drop during the night. The counter-response releases adrenaline and cortisol, which tighten vessels and increase early morning pressure. Combine that with slightly thicker blood after a dry night, and you have the triad that produces small clots in the brain's most vulnerable vessels. A 77-year-old librarian ate corn grits, most mornings, and corn at dinner several nights a week. She was diligent about salt restriction and often avoided drinking late to prevent nighttime bathroom trips. She developed morning fatigue and occasional dizziness. One day, she awoke with weakness on one side. Imaging confirmed a small ischemic stroke. Her fasting glucose was elevated. Her hematocrit suggested concentrated blood. Her pattern told the story. Repeated high glycemic meals, poor evening hydration, aging vessels. She recovered with therapy and changed habits. Corn can stay, but not before bed and not without protein or fiber. Pair grits with eggs and avocado. Choose daytime for corn dishes. Skip sweetened corn cereals. If you are diabetic or borderline, test your glucose 2 hours after corn to learn your personal response. Keep water on your evening tray if your doctor agrees. Stability is the theme. Stable glucose. Stable pressure. Stable fluid. If a starch can thicken blood through sugar and dehydration, a slender green spear can do it through diuresis alone. The next elegant favorite is praise for detox and weight management. Yet, its timing can quietly drain your circulation while you sleep. Let us examine asparagus and how to enjoy it without paying a neurologic price in the morning. 8. Asparagus. Gentle on the outside, but draining from within. Asparagus is elegant, mineral-rich, and naturally diuretic. That is often helpful at lunch. It is risky when eaten late by an older adult who already takes a diuretic or avoids drinking water in the evening. Diuresis reduces plasma volume. Less volume means thicker blood. Thicker blood in stiff vessels increases the chance that platelets will meet and form a clot on a rough patch of arterial lining. In atrial fibrillation, the risk climbs again because slow atrial flow seeds the system with tiny clots that thick blood carries less safely. A 79-year-old counselor ate steamed asparagus with lemon most nights. She limited evening fluids to prevent bathroom trips and took her water pill at dinner. One morning, she woke with slurred speech. Testing revealed hemoconcentration and a small language area infarct. Moving her diuretic to morning and shifting asparagus to lunch with a glass of water changed everything. She kept her favorite vegetable and kept her independence. You can do the same. Save diuretic vegetables for midday. Drink a measured glass of water with them if your clinician approves. Avoid pairing with caffeine or alcohol at dinner. Notice early signs of low volume, like dry mouth, dark urine, morning headaches, or standing dizziness. Correct them before your brain has to shout. If diuresis can destabilize pressure and flow, a different class of plant can mimic a stroke without a single clot or bleed. The final vegetable is part of the nightshade family, often celebrated for antioxidants, yet capable of provoking vessel spasm, electrolyte shifts, and neurologic symptoms in sensitive seniors. Let us talk about tomatoes and how to recognize a stroke mimic before it steals your confidence. 9. Tomatoes, a stroke imitator hiding in your kitchen. Tomatoes brighten plates and deliver lycopene. They also contain histamines and tyramines that can raise pressure and trigger inflammation in sensitive people. Their acidity can disturb magnesium and calcium balance, minerals that stabilize nerve firing and vessel tone. In nightshade, sensitive seniors repeated heavy tomato intake, especially at night with low-sodium diets and marginal hydration, can provoke cerebral vasospasm. Vasospasm narrows brain arteries transiently. The symptoms look like a stroke, with headache, visual blur, slurred speech, limb heaviness, and confusion. Imaging may show no clot and no bleed, only vessels that are momentarily too tight to deliver normal flow. An 83-year-old pianist enjoyed homemade tomato soup nightly. She arrived in the emergency department with a severe headache, blurred vision, and dysarthria. Her scans were clean. Labs showed electrolyte shifts and inflammatory markers. The pattern matched a stroke mimic. Reducing nightly tomato load, hydrating modestly before bed, and adding mineral-rich foods during the day ended the episodes. Tomatoes remain on her menu, just not every night and never late. If you notice headaches or fog after tomato-heavy dinners, rotate your choices. Prefer daytime sauces. Balance acidity with magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens, legumes, and seeds. Respect your signals. Your brain is telling you what thrives and what does not. Awareness does not ban foods. It teaches timing and pairing that protect circulation. Now that you have the map of hidden risks, let us close with the part that matters most. The mindset that turns information into protection. Final wake-up call. The power of awareness and the healing found in simplicity. This is not a list meant to scare you away from your kitchen. It is a lens that helps you see your plate through the needs of a wiser body. after 65. Your brain thrives on stability, stable fluids, stable pressure, stable glucose, stable clotting. Vegetables you loved at 40 still belong. Yet, their timing, their pairings, and their portion sizes must honor the medications you take and the vessels you protect. Move diuretic and high-water vegetables to midday. Pair starchier vegetables with protein and healthy fat. Keep raw, strong flavors modest at night. Especially if you take blood pressure medicine. Treat concentrated herbal supplements like drugs and clear them with your clinician. Hydrate on purpose in the evening if your doctor agrees. Even a small glass of water can smooth your morning. No fast and act fast. Face, arms, speech. Time to call emergency services. If any sign appears, do not wait. The difference between a full life and a lost independence is often measured in minutes. Your body still remembers how to heal. Your brain still rewires when you give it calm chemistry and consistent care. Share this with someone you love. Help a spouse move the salad to lunch. Help a friend pair corn with eggs instead of honey. Help yourself by asking your doctor one new question at your next visit. Is there anything I eat at night that could be working against my brain? Now, I would love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you have learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let us support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, comment 1. If not, comment 0. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another senior health tip made just for you.